the decision tree bot that we are going to build is actually a very meta type of bot, which is the bot is going to answer the question, do you need Dialogflow CX? Well, it's actually a very simple decision tree, as you can see, and the software I'm using here is called Workflowy. I think it's a really nice outlining tool, and in this particular case you can see that I'm using it to sort of design the initial picture of what the conversation flow should be. Right now, the first thing that I would like to point out is that this has to be a bot which is you might think, just looking at it, that this might be a good match for using follow-up intents in Dialogflow ES, and as it turns out, that's not the case. And to understand why that is, it helps to start learning about some concepts. Now, I'm not going to go into those concepts in detail in this particular series of videos. If you want, you can go and take a look at my course, which is called Improving Dialogflow ES Accuracy, where I sort of go into this in more detail. But the important thing is that if you use a follow-up intent tree structure for a bot where everything the user says is going to be in the form of yes or no answers, what happens is that number one, the follow-up intents, they set the context lifespan to be 2 by default, right? Which means that a particular intent could be active far longer than you expect. And the second problem is that there could be training phrase collisions. That is, the yes answer for an intent down the follow-up intent hierarchy could actually clash with the yes answer for an intent which is further above in that tree. Now, this actually is related to the concept of what they call as separation in Dialogflow. There was an article which Google produced a while back. I can't find it right now on the internet, but they were basically talking about how you can understand the training phrases, the quality of the training phrases in your bot by looking at two parameters. One is called cohesion and the other is called separation. Cohesion refers to how similar the training phrases within a single intent, how similar they are to each other. Separation, on the other hand, is sort of the converse. If you take two different intents, how different are these training phrases from each other? In a follow-up intent tree like the one you are seeing here, where everything is just yes and no, now this is a big problem because there is actually zero separation between an intent, let's say, which is firing over here, and then another intent which is firing over here, because they actually have exactly one training phrase and the training phrase is practically the same one, right? Now you combine this with the problem of the candidate intents not being, so the way I'll put it is, there are extra candidate intents at different steps in the conversation because of the context lifespan of 2, which is making this even more challenging to use a follow-up intent tree structure for this particular flowchart. So what you will actually do is, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to mimic the behavior of follow-up intents without actually using them, and I'm going to show you how to do that very soon. And you'll also, as I go through this, it will become clearer why my recommendation of using a context lifespan of 1 for your intents as much as possible. Why that recommendation is sort of like, first of all, why do I make that recommendation? And second is that how that relates to this other concept of separation between intents and where you have potential for training phrase collisions. And that kind of potential is very high in a bot like this, the one we are building, even though the bot itself is very simple. As you can see, this is the kind of bot which will precisely trip you up when you try to use the follow-up intent structure, which is already included in Dialogflow ES. All this to say that when you design your bot in Dialogflow ES, paying some attention to candidate intents and the cohesion / separation will actually go a long way in designing a bot where things work as expected. And once again, if you are interested in learning more about this, you can check out my Improving Dialogflow ES Accuracy course. So with that, I'm going to move on to creating the flowchart for this chatbot inside of the flowcharting tool that I recommend, which is called Mindomo.